strike up the band. The Siena Saints come marching into the Pepsi Arena for the nightcap of our MAAC tournament triple header. It's the Saints against the Red Foxes coming up next. From the Pepsi Arena in downtown Albany, it's our 2004 MAAC basketball MAAC tournament. Round number one, the Marist Red Foxes coming north of I-87 to take on their eastern New York rivals from Siena, who have a record of 12 and 15. And we take a look at the brackets here at the 2004 MAAC tournament, brought to you by GHI, healthcare coverage from A to Z. Ryder will take on St. Peter's tomorrow. Iona has just survived to move on to Saturday's action as well. Who will win tonight? It'll be Marist against Siena, coming up in just a matter of moments. And welcome to the Pepsi, everybody. Along with Rob Kennedy, this is Doug Sherman. Glad you could stay with us for the third of our three games here this evening. We've had two fantastic finishes so far. We expect the same here tonight.
Well, especially considering these teams had two great games in the regular season. Marist won at home and then had a big lead late in the second half here in this building before Siena came back for the wins.
Well, the Red Foxes have been struggling as the regular season wound down. What are the keys to pick up a win against their arch rivals tonight?
Well, the first thing, they've got to regain their confidence. As you said, Doug, they've been struggling going up against the top teams in the league at the end of their schedule. They've got to refine that confidence, and then they've got to keep Siena off the offensive boards, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. For the Saints on the other side, they've got to make sure that they guard dribblers. Don't let guys like Jordan get into the lane and kick it out for open threes. The three, one of the huge weapons for this Marist team. And then they've got to handle different defenses. Expect the Red Foxes to mix things up at the defensive end.
Those keys brought to you by HSBC, the world's local bank. Jared Jordan, one of the terrific freshmen in the MAAC.
And a guy who is a throwback point guard who thinks pass first and shot second. He's got the ability to get into the lane, and when he does, he creates havoc for people. Finding guys like McClurkin inside, but also kicking out to open shooters. And lately, he's started to shoot the basketball a little bit better to keep defenses honest.
Meanwhile, Siena has one of the super sophomores in the league, and Michael Haddix.
Oh, Michael Haddix has had a terrific season, especially coming down the stretch. A guy that gets so much done on the glass and inside. One of the best finishers in the MAAC. The lefty is unorthodox inside, but has the strength to gather and finish with the best post players in the MAAC. He carves up so much space with his size and then has the strength to finish. He is a handful inside. Certainly that's going to be a key for the Red Foxes as well to try and contain Haddix.
When we come back, the starting lineups and the opening tip between the Siena Saints and the Marist Red Foxes. It's opening round of the MAAC tournament here on the MAAC Television Network. This game is brought to you in part by the Pepsi-Cola Company. It's the Cola. By HSBC, the world's local bank. The New York Lottery, New York Mega Millions, dream bigger. JetBlue Airways, it's not the only way to fly, but it should be. And by FYE for your entertainment. The HSBC MAAC basketball tournament rolls on here at the Pepsi Arena in Albany with our nightcap between the Saints and the Red Foxes. And let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup brought to you by I Love New York. Show your love for New York State. For the Red Foxes, they will line up with Carl Hood, who has been on fire. Dennis Young trying to close strong in his senior season. Will McClurkin's played well against Siena. Brandon Ellerby and the aforementioned Jared Jordan in the backcourt. On the flip side for Siena, Justin Miller and Austin Andrews, a couple of seniors, along with Haddix, Jackson, and Jordan there. Mr. Do-Everything for the Saints. Here's a look at today's coaching matchup brought to you by Anaconda Sports and The Rock. Dave McGarity on the left in his 18th season out of St. Francis of Pennsylvania. And Rob Lanier in his third year as the head man with the Saints. He is a St. Bonaventure graduate and former point guard. The Rock, the official basketball of the MAAC. And you see the Saints have had the better of this rivalry over the years, although Marist has done well here at the Pepsi lately. And we are underway with the Saints, the higher seed in their home white uniforms.
The basketball in Jackson's hands, and Jordan, who's been shooting the ball well as of late, misses on his first attempt.
And Dennis Young gets the rebound for Marist. The Red Foxes come in with a record of only 6-21. Head coach Dave McGarity said, quote, "We've had a horrible year." Trying to salvage that here, and Dennis Young also has had what could be termed a horrible senior year, trying to bring it together here in March.
Absolutely. His numbers are way off, averaging just over 2 points per game, but has come on as of late, had a season-high 9 against Niagara on senior night.
Cross-court Jordan to Harris. Justin Miller pulls down the offensive rebound.
And we talked about the fact that the Saints, as good as anybody in the country on the offensive glass, ranked 3rd in the country in offensive rebounds per game.
Maddox with his second attack, and both have been off the mark.
And everybody from Marist has to rebound. Jordan getting in the middle. Important for your guards to come back in and give them help on the backboard.
Here's Brandon Ellerby, junior from Plano, Texas. Stepping out is McClurkin. That's a 2-point shot, and the Red Foxes with the early lead.
The 2-post guys catching people off guard. Young stepping out to nearly 3-point range, able to knock down the shot. Same for McClurkin, who gets most of his damage done inside.
Austin Andrews off the mark. There's Jordan with the putback.
And Jordan, one of the best athletes in the MAAC, does a little bit of everything, including crashing the board.
Antoine Jordan, only 6'4", 175 pounds, yet in limited minutes, he averages nearly 7 rebounds per game. Here's Jamal Jackson on the score. The top of 4.
That's what Jackson does best, put pressure on the basketball with his defensive quickness.
Carl Hood with the ball. He's another Texan who made his way to Poughkeepsie for his college experience. Hood likes to take Andrews off the dribble. Good help. McClurkin off the mark. Young and Miller are going to scrap all night long. This time, the personal foul goes against Justin Miller.
Well, if you weren't watching the first couple minutes, you wouldn't know that it's been a tough season for Young. Jackson, with his defensive pressure, forces the turnover and gets an easy 2 out ahead of the field.
That's a senior taking it away from a freshman. Jackson, a senior from Newark, New Jersey. Chris Handy has come into the game. McClurkin misfires. There's Antoine Jordan coming down for another rebound.
Now, good move by McClurkin, just couldn't finish as he was able to step through the double right to the rim.
Well, in the game early in the season in Poughkeepsie that Marist won 67-65. McClurkin scored 19. A big part of the offense that night.
There's the strip from Jordan.
There's the other Jordan on the floor, Antoine. Jackson misses the floater. Red Foxes back the other way. Jared Jordan. Bounce pass to Hood in the corner. The 3. That's good. 7-4 Marist.
As you said, he's been on fire as of late, coming off a career-high 27 in the regular season finale against Manhattan, including 6 threes, 6 for 10 from beyond the 3-point line in that big game.
Hood averages 8.6 points per game, but that's on the rise. There's Justin Miller winding down a terrific senior season with the turnaround. 7-6, back to a 1-point game.
It's just been so solid. Rob Lanier says, you know, he's everything that I want the players in my program to be.
Ellerby. Here's Handy. Dribbled it off his knee. Miller dives. And it'll be Marist basketball. But that kind of typifies the two of them right there. Handy doesn't get down. Miller does.
Absolutely. Miller, a guy not afraid to give up his body. He's a warrior. Gives it every single night. Rob Lanier says one thing for sure. I absolutely know that I'm going to get great post defense and 8 rebounds from Miller game in and game out. It's like money in the bank.
Second violation. Jamal Jackson forces the turnover for the second time against the freshman Jordan.
A good quick pressure defense by Jackson on the basketball.
There's Dave McGarity, who led this program way back in 1987 at the NCAA tournament. In his rookie season as head coach of the Red Foxes, trying to do it again here in 2004, but that truly would be one of the great Cinderella stories that we've had in MAAC tournament history if they're able to do that. Marist Marist 7, Siena 6. Time out on the floor with 15:59 to go. Jared Jordan and the Red Foxes looking for the upset here on the MAAC Television Network.
What are those stories?
That about people.
Let's try an interval of about 15 milliseconds, because that's half of what the PISA was given.
The aspects of the retreat, like you talked about friendship.
Also about what that knowledge means for the human spirit. I know that students are concerned about this.
HSBC is proud to sponsor the HSBC family section. HSBC salutes the MAAC and apparently today's only family in attendance. HSBC, the world's local bank.
Either that or that's family for someone back in the truck. 3 games, 3 times. They're our family. There you go. Get some other people involved.
Well, looks like we probably got a crowd of 6,000 or 7,000 here tonight for the finale of our triple header. The Saints playing on the home floor against the Red Foxes. One of the worst storms ever in the program's history in Division I. With a
slide off the screen at the high post. Again, seeing different looks from Marist. Matchup zone, a little junk defense as well. They've been able to handle it with good patience on the offensive end.
The Siena team had a 10-game losing streak earlier this year, but they have recovered well. Kennedy inside the McClurkin, posting on Hacks. Jordan moves out. Jordan gets another rebound.
But the quick spin by McClurkin to avoid the double team. That's a key for Marist. Making quick moves in the post before the double comes.
Misses on the turnaround and goes down hard. Miller tips. And is tied up by Jared Jordan. The possession arrow will get the ball back to the Red Foxes.
Here's this slip screen as Miller once again able to slip right off the high post, and Jackson with the presence of mind to find it.
Senior from Lakewood, New York. That's outside of Buffalo. Went to Southwestern High School. Averaging 9 points and 7.5 rebounds, and this is senior year at Siena College. Young back into the game. Has it stripped away by that man, Antoine Jordan again. Carl Hood taken right away. Jamal Jackson with another steal. For 2 more.
Johnson's been able to get after it in the scoring column because of his defense. He's already above his season average of 5 points with a couple layups out in transition.
The winner of this one gets Fairfield tomorrow night in the late game. Young double team. Shot clock under 10. Good look from the left wing. Off the mark by Ellerby. Antoine Jordan with at least his 4th rebound. And it looks like he may have just re-aggravated that left knee injury as he hobbles into the front court. So Siena got off to the slow start, but since then getting good looks, patient on the half-court offense. Miller feeling it. Unable to connect on the jump shot. Marist with the ball down 3. Ellerby off the glass and in. It's back to a 1-point game.
Did you hear him call that?
No.
Maybe not the shot they were looking for, but they'll take it.
What I noticed, though, is that he went right around Antoine Jordan as though Jordan was standing still. Because Jordan was standing still, that knee is giving him a lot of trouble right now. Whistle and a foul off the ball against Young.
Talk about a matchup inside, and as Jordan will head over to the bench to get that knee looked at. Once again, it's Jackson with the quickness at the defensive end. Nice finish out in transition.
There's a look at Antoine Jordan. His injury, he actually had a double injury on the same play against Niagara, hurt his knee and his ankle. When he was out, that triggered the 10-game losing streak. His activity brings so much to the table for the Saints, and if he's not able to be 100% or near it here tonight, the Saints take a big hit.
Yeah, and this is a team that really doesn't have a lot of guys that can create for themselves Jordan is one of those guys that can put it to the floor and go find some shots for himself and also for his teammates.
And Tommy Mitchell has come into the game for the first time after missing the last 2 with an ankle injury for Siena. Michael Beers and Gary Holly Jr. have come in for the Saints. Ellerby spotting up from the 21 around the rim and out. Handy. Strong with the putback. Holly keeps fighting and gets the rebound.
Handy had the inside position, did all the hard work, and able to do the easy thing, make the layup.
To the 10 for 2.
Well, he has stepped up here with a big start to the game. The guy not known for his offense, getting a couple easy looks by getting himself to the ring.
He's got 6 of the 12 Siena points. Jordan has it taken away again. His 3rd turnover. Leaking out Tommy Mitchell. And he goes down in a heap. Clearly he's not 100%.
No, because he's one of the best athletes, especially in the open floor in the league.
There's an athletic move by Ellerby. What a finish, and now we see Jared Jordan hobbling for the Red Foxes.
Boy, it's been a tough start for both teams. Guys getting nicked up and banged up.
Oh, you just hate to see that. And so he will head out after turning the ankle. There you see, landed on Holly's foot and rolled it.
And certainly Marist does not have the depth at the point guard position to be able to handle a situation with Jared Jordan not in. Pierre Monaghan no longer with the team, and certainly he's the other guy throughout the season who has stepped up and played the ball.
Here's misses for 3. Holly. The local product out of Catholic Central High School with his first 2.
Can see he's one of the fan favorites.
Well, his dad was a Division II All-American at Siena back in the 70s. They loved the name Gary Holly. Eric Segrist has come into the game for the Red Foxes as well as Will Whittington. Miller, fouled by Handy. There's a look at Handy, who also, as well as Dennis Young, have had disappointing senior seasons, averaging only 6 points per game.
Well, this senior squad for Marist certainly has not had a very good year.
Jamal Jackson with 6 of the first 12 for Siena. Right now, the Saints lead by 3 on MAAC Television Network.
Engaging the mind and uplifting the spirit. Embracing new technologies to preserve our heritage. Searching for answers at home and making friends across the world. Marist College, a community of learning, a commitment to excellence.
Well, Rob, usually it's a good thing to be a basketball player with the last name Jordan, but not so far here tonight. There's Jared Jordan, who is out with an ankle injury. Also, Siena's Jordan, Antoine Jordan, out with knee and ankle trouble.
You see him rolling right there. He goes down initially, grimacing in pain, and certainly this Marist team did not afford to have Jared Jordan out of the game for long stretches. As we said, they do not have depth at the point guard spot. The freshman has been one of the bright spots for a disappointing Marist year.
Here's misses. Brent Sneesic into the game. Tips. Whittington tries to save it. It goes out of bounds back to Siena.
Whittington, one of the young players for Dave McGarity, who's come on as of late, coming off a career game against Manhattan. Career high 14 as Jackson goes out to the approval of the fans here in Albany.
Which is not something that he's heard all year long.
Well, especially in the middle of that 12-game losing streak. Heard some more beers. 10-game losing streak, excuse me.
Beers, Holly, Jordan, Mitchell, and Sneesic on the floor. Here's Antoine Jordan. McClurkin is fouled by Sneesic over the back.
Good box out by McClurkin, just holding his ground to force Sneesic to pick up the foul.
Siena with a lead, 14-11. First on Sneesic, and the second against Siena. Both teams called for just 2 fouls so far here in the early going. Ellerby picked up by Mitchell. Now with Ellerby's athleticism, if he is 100%, you got to figure off the dribble. Who's going to be able to get dribble penetration here tonight?
Well, he's a guy that at times this season has disappeared. There's a 3-point shooting continue for Whittington. Coming off a game in which he had threes against Manhattan.
14 points in just 26 minutes against the Jaspers. Sneezik got himself turned around on the lob pass, and here come the Red Foxes trying to break the 14-all tie. Siegrist has it knocked away by Mitchell. Bodies are everywhere. Holly and Sneezik wind up on top. And the possession is looked like a game of kill the quarterback. And Will McClurkin was holding the football. So Jared Jordan's right ankle being retaped, and you can only retape it so much. If you really turned it like it looked like he did, they're going to have to really lace that thing up if he's going to be able to come back anywhere near full strength. Beers goes out. Michael Haddix has come back in for the Saints, as has Jamal Jackson. Terry Parks is also into the game for the Red Foxes. That's Tommy Mitchell.
Mitchell, who has struggled all season long from beyond the three-point line at just 20% from deep. Down 17 percentage points from how he shot it last year. That's been one of the problems for the Saints. Mitchell has not been the same player that he was last year. Parks, quick off his feet, missed the jump hook though, and Antoine Jordan with another rebound. That's the 5th rebound already for the sophomore out of Philadelphia. And it's working for position inside. Here's Jordan from the baseline for 2. A good ball reversal, and again, the presence of Haddix inside forces the defense to give attention to the big guy in the post, and that allows the ball reversal and the open look on the weak side.
Ellaby's pass taken away by Jordan. Jordan, and you can see why without him the Saints struggle.
Certainly it gives him a different look. His athleticism and his ability to do a little bit of everything is certainly a key for this Siena run late in the season, having now won 5 out of their last 6 coming into the tournament.
And there were 2 years ago that the Siena faithful are hoping parlays into another run here this weekend in the MAAC tournament.
See all the red jerseys in the lane? That's because Haddix is in there posting up. Now you get the ball reversal, the quick reversal by Jackson, just to take the basketball and swing it to the other side. And here's that athleticism from Jordan out in the passing lane, able to finish ahead of the field.
And so Antoine Jordan with 6 points as Siena has opened up a 7-point lead in the points off the turnovers, and Jordan's been in the middle of most of that.
And the other Jordan, if he's not into the game, Jared Jordan, expect those numbers to rise. He turned it over himself a couple times to begin the game.
Yep.
Siena out on the 7-0 run, doing it with their defense.
Yeah, Jared Jordan had 3 turnovers in 8 minutes before turning that ankle. And Jamal Jackson was the other one.
Jared Jordan's over at the scores table, and he'll be back in the game at the next whistle. We'll see if he's able to go.
Well, there's no tomorrow in the MAAC tournament. There's a turnover as Whittington's pass went out of bounds. It was intended on the low post for McClurkin, and now Jared Jordan replaces Ellerby.
And one thing about Jared Jordan, he's a tough guy. We've seen him a couple times get banged in the face, had stitches earlier in the season. He's not afraid to throw his body around. We'll see if he's got the spring off that foot. And certainly here on the first defensive possession, looking like he's having trouble covering ground out of his zone.
Jackson, nice look to Haddix. Miller cleans it up.
Once again, Justin Miller doing what he does best. Find the lane. As soon as the basketball goes in or goes up, he's diving from that high post, getting after it on the offensive glass.
6 apiece for Jackson, Miller, and Jordan. Siena with a 9-point lead. And they still have not gotten any points from their leading scorer, Michael Haddix. McClurkin inside. Parks with a turnaround. Haddix may have gotten a piece. McClurkin with the putback. And now Jared Jordan comes away holding his neck and chest.
And Miller's down too. I mean, everybody's getting banged around. Jared Jordan went down. It was Miller trying to walk it off.
I'm starting to feel an ache or pain somewhere. We're the only two
so long. We're sitting comfortably over here.
Here's Jared
Jordan. Look at that. Goes in, gets banged around. As we said, tough kid, not afraid to throw his body around. This is where, though, the ankle will certainly bother him, especially on the defensive end as you try to close out of the matchups.
Here's Miller. Way off the mark on the turnaround. Jordan, quick pass up ahead to Hood. And Carl Hood will pull it back out. By the way, it was the 4th rebound already for Jared Jordan, who's playing on one ankle right now. This is Jared Jordan in the corner, trying to take Jackson off the dribble. 12 on the shot clock is Hood. Misfires. Jamal Jackson the rebound. Quick up to Antoine Jordan. The runner in the paint. Off the mark. McClurkin fights for it. Antoine Jordan pulls it back out.
One of the reasons why the Saints rebounded so well at the offensive glass, they've got 4 guys that aren't afraid to go after it.
Siena with a 7-point lead and possession of the ball. Andrews off the screen for Miller. Andrews has struggled the second half of the season from the perimeter. Struggling with his confidence these days. Coach drops it off to Handy. Whittington for 3. That's good.
And that's a guy whose confidence is not struggling. It's amazing when you get yourself into a groove, as Whittington is in now. Just able to step up and knock down deep threes.
One of 4 Texans on this Marist roster. Here's Haddix, who's yet to score tonight. Double team, and knocked out of bounds. It'll be Siena possession. We have ourselves a timeout. Siena's lead down to 4. Jared Jordan and the Red Foxes trying to tough it out here in the MAAC tournament. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. Doug Sherman along with Rob Kennedy back at the Pepsi Arena for the nightcap of our triple header of the 2004 HSBC MAAC tournament. Siena with a lead over Marist, and the New York Lottery MAAC Scholar Athlete of the Year announced earlier today, Toby Foster from Canisius. The New York Lottery is providing new computers to elementary schools on behalf of the men's and women's Scholar Athletes of the Year. Winners are selected based on grade point average, community participation, and good sportsmanship. The New York Lottery, supporting education since 1967, salutes Toby Foster for his achievements.
His career came to an end in a disappointing loss. A missed shot at the buzzer inside, not once, but a second one as Canisius hung in there with Iona, but unable to get over the hump.
And again, you can see at the end of that Canisius game when they lost, both he and John Ferris, the 2 seniors who saw their careers come to an end, fell to the floor in agony. This is it for most of these players in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. That was the first 2 for Austin Andrews, and then his lead is back to 6. McClurkin with a nice catch off the feed for 2.
Nice high-low, something that Siena is very good at executing out of their offense. The dump in from the high post. Nice feed by him.
Well, again, McClurkin is effective inside against Siena. He has been all season in the matchups with the Saints. Now Andrews answers back with consecutive hoops at the other end.
Yeah, he's struggling from the outside. Go find yourself a couple easy shots inside. He's got the size to be able to score it more inside.
Here's Hood, who has had a quiet beginning of the ball game as well, despite the fact that he has finished the regular season with a flourish. Andrews tries to draw the charge. Hood missed it. Got a good look, but a little bit off the mark. Antoine Jordan pulls it back out. 5 minutes to go in the half. Haddix with his first basket.
You see the quick turn to make sure that he avoided the double team, able to split back into the middle of the lane.
He was a member of the All-MAAC rookie team a year ago. Second-team All-Star this year as a sophomore. McClurkin, they go right back to him. This time a little bit short. Miller gathers the rebound.
And there's the difference. As soon as the shot goes up, you see 4 red jerseys heading back in transition defense. On this side, shot goes up, 5 white jerseys and crashing the board.
Can't make it 3 in a row. He knocks it out of bounds. Marist will have possession. Now Tommy Mitchell will come back in.
Siena's done a good job in their half-court offense of being patient, trying to get different looks against the different defenses that they've seen from Marist.
And a senior from New Britain, Connecticut, Austin Andrews grabs a seat. With Mitchell coming back into the game. Handy sets a screen. Ellerby to the corner. Here's Jared Jordan. Nothing but net.
Well, usually it's Jordan who's getting into the lane and kicking out to wide open shooters from 3. This time, Ellerby got things started off the bat.
Under 4 minutes to go in the half. Justin Miller calling for the ball in the post. Goes right by Ellerby for the win.
Notice no double team comes when he gets the ball inside. On the isolation one-on-one, able to tool Young inside.
Siena 31, Marist 24. The winner gets Fairfield late tomorrow night. Pick and roll to Handy. That's 2 in a row for the Red Foxes.
And that's where Andy is most comfortable, stepping out and facing up from 15 feet. Not a guy that's going to beat you so much inside with his low post scoring.
He's a senior who transferred to Marist from Brigham Young University. Averaged double figures last year as a junior, not so much here as a senior.
And you can go down the entire senior class and say the same thing, averaging 17 less points per game than they did as a group last year. If you're looking for one reason why Marist has struggled to just 6 wins this year, it's been the lack of production from that senior group.
And here is one of them, Young, being denied by Hammonds. Handy, one senior picking up the other.
Well, it turns into an assist. Handy at just about the exact same spot that he knocked it down last possession. 15 feet straight on.
Under 3 minutes to go. 31-28. Siena's lead down to 3.
After turning it over early and allowing Siena to get some easy looks in transition, just hang it around.
Jordan back to Jackson off to Mitchell. Air ball. And Handy with the rebound. The Red Foxes with a chance to tie. They trailed by 9 just a few minutes ago. And a hand check foul called against Mitchell. Yet another Texan we talked about in the last game with Iona and Canisius having so many New Yorkers. We've got 5 Texans in this game. We have ourselves a timeout. Jared Jordan, despite the bad ankle, coming off the mat to keep the Red Foxes close. Marist down 31-28 here on the MAAC Television Network. This game is brought to you in part by Broadway Marketing Mind-Bending Solutions. I Love New York. Show your love for New York State. And by GHI Healthcare Coverage from A to Z. Will Whittington has been a big part of the Red Foxes hanging around. The Marist team has scored no points off of turnovers, while Siena has done it that way, while Will Whittington and company have done it from three-point land.
And it's been the three-point shooting that has kept them in the game, despite the fact that they spotted Siena with those turnovers. You know, the three-point shot so big for Marist in their last meeting here against Siena, where they knocked down 12 threes to stay in that game.
There's Whittington, rather than settling for the 3, going inside, but he came up short. Antoine Jordan guarded by Whittington. Gary Holly. Under 2 minutes to go here in the half. Siena with the three-point lead and the basketball.
Marist done a great job of neutralizing Haddix inside. Haddix basically took himself out of the game the first meeting when Marist won because of foul trouble, but it's been the Red Fox defense that has neutralized Haddix here so far this evening.
Jared Jordan will come back in. And Hood goes out, having scored only 3 points so far.
You see when he comes in now, having sat for a little bit, a little slow and hobbling when he gets in. So important when you twist an ankle to try and keep yourself as loose as possible so it doesn't stiffen up.
Here's having trouble with the defensive pressure by Ellerby. Haddix trying to go back to great look by Jackson.
Absolutely great feed as well. It didn't look like there was enough room to be able to make that pass, but I'll tell you one thing. The big guy, Haddix, does such a great job of catching everything in traffic.
That was his offhand, his right hand making that one-handed catch. There's the 3 by Ellerby.
Three continues to keep Marist in the game. It's a 2-point lead now for Siena. They like shooting a basketball in this arena. And they're 2 games because they also played St. Peter's early in the season in this building. They've shot it at 46% from the end of the 3-point line.
Haddix has it taken right away by Ellerby. Has a chance to try to take the lead. Whittington has to knock the ball away. Shot clock at 26, game clock at 31 and a half.
Well, they rush the ball up the floor, see if you got something. If not, settle it back out. Now Marist will take the use it or lose it timeout to set things up on the offensive end.
Here's Haddix working the offensive glass. He's the best in the league, but brought it down a little guy took it away.
And that's the second time we've seen a guard able to strip the ball from Haddix when he's brought it down. Once off the dribble, that time just trying to gather himself.
31.5 seconds to go here in the half. The Red Foxes have lost 12 of 13. Rob Lanier's club has weathered its own storm this year, and both teams still dreaming of making it not only through this game, but there's always reason to dream. I recollected this afternoon when we opened our 3 games. 1997, Fairfield came out of nowhere and won the MAAC tournament. That was out in Buffalo. 2 years ago, Siena here at the Pepsi Arena, right before Michael Haddix came into the program, shocked the MAAC world and came as the number 6 seed with a 500 record and won the tournament. And both the Saints and the Red Foxes have those dreams here with 31 and a half seconds to go in the first half.
See those numbers, though, showing that Marist doing a good job of keeping the big guy in check.
Now the shot clock is off. 24.5 seconds to go.
And now they'll be able to bring it out and run the clock down and take one shot. And certainly Marist, after getting off to the slow start, turning the basketball over, has got themselves an opportunity to head into the locker room with some momentum.
Marist down 2 with the ball. You see the time remaining here in the first half. The winner moves on to the quarterfinals tomorrow night against Fairfield. Quick move by Elby to get by Jackson. The turnaround for the tie. No good. Under 5 seconds to go. Antoine Jordan looking to get the shot. And again, we've got ourselves a tight ball game after the intermission.
Notice Elby has the basketball in his hands for the last possession instead of Jared Jordan, because Jared Jordan certainly not the same quickness that he usually has because of that turned ankle.
Well, unfortunately for Jared Jordan, a 15-minute rest in the locker room might not be what he needs. We'll see if that ankle stiffens up and see if he's able to go in the second half. We'll take a break at the intermission. Siena holding on to a 2-point lead, 33-31. We'll be back for more MAAC basketball after this.
College basketball season is at its peak, and you can be a part of tournament action. The HSBC MAAC Tournament returns to Pepsi Arena March 4th through the 8th, when 10 men's and 10 women's teams battle for 2 spots in the NCAA tournament. Tickets are on sale now. Bring the family and take advantage of our family 4-pack deals. Tickets are available at Pepsi Arena box office, through Ticketmaster, or online at PepsiArena.com. The 2004 HSBC MAAC Tournament. Get your tickets today.
Introducing Gray Line New York Sightseeing's Showbiz Insiders Tour. This is the only way you'll be able to experience all the behind-the-scenes magic riding inside a luxurious deluxe motor coach to the New Amsterdam Theater, home of Disney's The Lion King. Meet a Broadway actor for an intimate performance at Gray Line's private theater, the Radio City Stage Door Tour for a picture with a Rockette, the NBC Studio Tour with Jay Leno and Saturday Night Live, lunch at Planet Hollywood in the heart of Times Square, and much, much more. Exclusively for MAAC family and friends, Gray Line has special hotel packages, which include the Hop-On, Hop-Off double-decker bus all loops tour. Please call 1-800-669-0051 or visit us at NewYorkSightseeing.com for all the excitement today.
Who are you?
What are your team colors?
Who can make you cheer?
Who can bring your family and friends together?
And play your fight song?
Who can bring you to your feet?
Or bring you to your knees?
When the game is on the line, who do you want to take the last shot?
And who do you want to slap high fives, jump up and down, and yell at the top of your lungs with?
There's probably a game near you today. NCAA basketball. Who's your team?
This game is brought to you in part by Coach USA and Gray Line, the best way to see New York City. By I Love New York, show your love for New York State. And by GHI, healthcare coverage from A to Z. Back at the Pepsi Arena, game 3 of our 3 for opening day. But tomorrow we've got 3 more coming your way in the quarterfinal round. Plus the women's semifinals to tip things off in the morning at 11:30 a.m. The top seeds from Siena taking on the Canisius Golden Griffins. And then you see the men's second round action. Actually, I guess you would call it second round as opposed to quarterfinal because Manhattan is all the way into the semifinals on the double bye. That draft is brought to you by JetBlue Airways. It's not the only way to fly, but it should be.
And 2 very interesting matchups as seeds have won through so far. 4-5 game against St. Peter's and Ryder, who had 2 great games in the regular season. Here's a guy who had a lot of great games all season long, especially coming down the stretch when he averaged over 20 points per game coming down the stretch, but held to just 4 here in the first half. The sagging defense, mixing it up defensively, has certainly given Haddix problems.
Miller leads Siena in scoring with 8 points. Ellerby leads Marist with 7. Again, no free throws so far.
Neither team, just 5 fouls whistled there in the first half. I want to go out and give the officials a medal.
Ellerby off the mark. There's Haddix with the rebound.
When he gets his hands around the basketball, it's his. Nobody's taking it away. He's got such great strength, but talk about strong hands.
Dennis Young whistled underneath for giving the extra shove to Miller. And we talked early in the game that those two both have the style and temperament to bang on each other all night long. And that's the second time we've seen one getting a foul call against the other. That's the second foul on Young. He's the first to get multiple fouls here. Jackson with the floater.
Well, just as he did in the first half to start the game, gets things going at the offensive end.
Siena's lead is 4, 35-41. Keep an eye on number 25 in red, Jared Jordan, how that hobbling ankle holds up here in the second half. Jackson knocks it away from Elby. Shot clock still going. Young for the baseline. Travel instead. It's a Young 15-foot jumper.
That's how he started the first half. Stepped out and hit an outside shot. Jared Jordan got away with one, but you know what? You're not going all around, and you may take an extra step here or there.
Nice look inside the head. Young picks up his 3rd foul.
And another catch in traffic. Bodies all around him. He's just got a great ability to go get the basketball with people hanging around him.
Well, not your classic entry pass from Andrews, but it worked. Put it right where Haddix could get it.
And again, put it up, and Haddix will go get the basketball. He's got a knack for tracking it down.
So now Young has 3 of the 7 fouls that have been called in the game as Haddix is at the line. Our first free throw.
Might as well go in the first game where Marist was able to win on their home floor. Haddix was a non-factor, mostly because of foul trouble. In the second game, he was a monster inside. 22 points to go along with 14 rebounds, one of his 9 double-doubles on the season.
And you say a non-factor in that game in Poughkeepsie, only 4 points. And when you average nearly 16 for the season, that's a tough number to make up if you're Siena. Haddix now has 6. Jordan gets it blocked. Miller who saves underneath the Marist basket. And the Red Foxes cash in Jordan for 2.
How about Jordan getting by the likes of Jamal Jackson with his quickness, even though he wasn't able to convert? He's able to convert on the easy shot on the second change.
Give Miller an assist on that one.
That's right. Good hustle, just didn't throw it far enough.
Jackson again with the run. And the senior point guard in the double figures with 10.
He's played a solid game, taking care of the basketball, defended it at this end, and also given him a score.
His career high is only 12, so he's 2 away from that in the early stages of the second half.
This is a guy who's been pretty quiet this evening. Hood, after coming off that monster game last time out against Manhattan, he's got to find a way to get himself involved. Just 3 points on one 3-point shot. Jordan's ankle looking pretty good here as he's able to get by Jackson, and the save by Miller, but you do not save it under your own basket unless you're going to throw it deep enough out towards half court.
He's got some moves, but he comes up short. Nice defense by Miller. Crowd here at Pepsi Arena shows appreciation. Andrews from the downtown. And we've got an over-the-back foul against McClurkin.
And that's not the shot that you want Andrews taking, especially with his struggles coming down the stretch. McClurkin gets into it a little bit. Dave McGarity up. But Andrews shooting just 25% from beyond the three-point line over his last 16 games. You can't hide behind and take a quick shot from 25 when you're putting up those type of numbers.
That was the first foul on McClurkin. A non-shooting foul, so Jackson brings it into Antoine Jordan, whose leaner is good. That's 8 points for Antoine Jordan. Siena's lead back up to 6. Now, Marist finished the regular season in a real funk, having lost 12 out of 13. Foul off the ball. Austin Andrews picks up the personal. Whittington and Young come back in for the Red Foxes. McClurkin and Jared Jordan go out.
Certainly the stretch drive with the schedule did not play to their favor as they had Manhattan, Siena, Niagara, and then Manhattan again in their last few games coming down the stretch.
Pass by Handy. Maddox with the easy steal. Let's see if they can convert this into more points off of turnovers. They go right into Haddox on the high post. The Saints do.
4 guys around him again. Not an easy catch as there's defensive pressure, but he comes up with the basketball. Now all of a sudden trying to make himself a factor here in the second half.
Siena's lead back to 8. The biggest lead in the first half was 9. Whittington was got a couple threes to cut into that 9-point lead. He's had a hard time getting the shot off over Andrews, who stands 6'9".
Andrews able to get out with his quickness and defend that perimeter and close out with his size.
Jamal Jackson with the block shot. Marist has possession on the end line with 6 seconds to shoot.
To miss.
David Ryan has come into the game for the first time for Siena. He's guarding Whittington. Draws the foul, and now the Red Foxes will get their first trip to the foul line.
See, a little banging inside as Haddox bangs Whittington, trying to get himself to the line.
First foul on Ryan, just seconds after coming off the bench. On the third against Siena. And so Whittington, a 75% foul shooter.
Now that we've already got more fouls called here in the second half before we get to our first media timeout than we did in the entire first half. And once again, another round of applause from the hometown faithful for the fine effort from Jamal Jackson.
Whittington gets 1 out of 2. He's got 7. It's a 7-point game. Tommy Mitchell has come back into the game, replacing the aforementioned Jamal Jackson. This is Mitchell with the basketball. Miller doesn't get the roll. Haddox tips. Ryan comes away with it.
Even though Haddox doesn't come up with the rebound on the stat sheet, he's the guy that kept it alive.
And the sophomore southpaw gets 2 more.
So the rebound doesn't get on the stat sheet, but certainly the score inside does. Now all of a sudden becoming that big-time presence in the paint.
Well, he showed that he had only 4 in the first half. He's now into double figures with 10. Whittington. This time a little bit long. Just trying to keep the ball alive, but then he picks up the foul.
Here's where Marist has to be careful. All of a sudden, Siena's starting to stretch out this lead. Can't let this one get away.
Michael Haddox starting to be the catalyst here in the second half for the Saints. He's a second-team All-MAAC performer and starting to show it as the Saints have opened up a 9-point lead here on the MAAC Television Network. Siena's lead is back up to 9 points here early in the second half. And the folks here in Albany are dreaming of what could be just 2 years ago at the Pepsi Arena. Siena came in as the Cinderella and won 4 straight games. Dwayne Archibald was the captain then and willed the Saints into the NCAA tournament with 4 shocking upsets. There you see the final score as the Saints beat Niagara. And they're the only team in MAAC tournament history to win 4 games in 1 year, and that's what it will take again this year if Rob Lanier's club is going to repeat that feat.
And once again, you look at this year, they started 4-10. Back in that run to the MAAC tournament, they started that year 4-10. You look at conference records, identical here. Tournament seed a little bit different this year as they get the 6th seed, but the key there, the site back in Albany.
And the Saints made it to a second game in the NCAA tournament that year, becoming just the second team in NCAA tournament history with a losing record to win a game. They beat Elkhorn State in that play-in type round in Dayton. David Ryan blocked by Andy Miller again is the one on the floor trying to keep it alive. And his hustle along with Ryan gets a shot to Miller, who was fouled on the bank attack.
Going strong to the goal. Andy came over to challenge. Himself put on the front of the rim after that contact and went down hard.
Well, there is justice because Miller with the hustle, just like Haddix on the possession before, winds up getting a chance at the basket after good work on the glass.
A good save and then able to go at it inside. Clearly the contact as Miller goes down hard.
Well, Miller was able to get down the big one-handed dunk in the first half, but having to earn the 2 points here in the second half. Jared Jordan back in. Hood goes out. Hart also comes back in, replacing Handy. And for Siena, Sneezik and Ryan return. Haddix goes out, as does Tommy Mitchell.
Dave McGarity searching for things right now. His team's struggling. Lead out to double figures, trying to see if the likes of Parks can come in and give him a spark.
Miller gets 1 out of 2. The lead is 10. That's the biggest of the ball game. 46-36, Siena.
Can't do that. He's too good of a three-point shooter, and especially the type of role that he's on. That's his 3rd 3 here this evening, after backing it up with 4 last time out against Manhattan.
He's the first Red Fox to reach double figures. Well, really, he is to Marist what Michael Beers is to Siena.
Beers a guy that can flat out shoot the ball as well.
Not shy from the perimeter. Ryan hustling again. Antoine Jordan off the mark. Whittington the rebound, and here come the Red Foxes. Ellerby has Jordan on his left. Back to Whittington. And a pushing foul against Siena.
See the type of attention Whittington gathered that time after knocking down the 3. Last time down, miscommunication left Whittington wide open.
A non-shooting foul, the 4th foul this half against Siena. Crossover.
He's done a solid job with the basketball in his hands for much of the game.
Nice move by Jared Jordan in the lane. He's got 7.
All of a sudden now with Ellerby handling the basketball a lot, point, it allows Jordan to get himself a couple open looks.
And 5 straight points by the Red Foxes have cut the lead in half. And Antoine Jordan earns a trip back to the line to shoot 2. And this young man, number 30 for the Saints, is the leading foul shooter in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
A great stretch earlier in the season when he knocked down 25 straight.
There's a look at Prosper Karangwa. He, along with Dwayne Archibald, willed the Saints into the NCAA tournament 2 years ago, and the folks here in Albany appreciate Prosper up on the Jumbotron.
Just like that, we're talking about all the great foul shooting exploits of Jordan. Just like that, right on cue, he misses one.
Jordan with 9 points now. Jared Jordan giving up the body again and drawing the foul. So to the foul line goes the freshman from Hartford, Connecticut.
He's got a nose for getting by people. He's not necessarily the quickest guy off the bounce with that first step, but he somehow gets himself into the lane. He's a guy that you really cannot keep out of the lane, and when he does, he throws his body around, figures out a way to get to the foul line.
And that was the second foul of the night on Brent Sneezic, coming over to help out. Jared Jordan in the game against Siena on February 21st hit one of the more memorable shots of the season for the Red Foxes. A three-quarter court shot at the end of the half.
And into the locker room with the lead. Then lost it early in the second half, then regained it. We're up 10 points late in the game and let it slip away when they could not score. Coming down the stretch in the last 6 minutes.
Jackson ties his career high with a dozen.
And he has looked good, getting by people, finishing at the rim. He's had a very solid all-around floor game for the breakaway.
Well, you know, there's a statistic for Siena that I think tells a pretty big story. They've won 12 games this year, and in those games, Jamal Jackson's assist-to-turnover ratio is 3-1. When your point guard delivers, you win games.
And when he plays under control and doesn't get wild with the basketball. That's been his problem this season, sometimes not making good decisions with the ball.
And there's Jamal Jackson again, making like Curly Neal of the Globetrotters. Inside to Sneezic.
Sneezic doesn't get a whole lot of touches inside. Averages less than 3 points per game, but looked good on that jump hook in the lane.
The lead is back to 9.
Rob Lanier was trying to get a timeout after that score, but couldn't get it.
15 on the shot clock. That'll be from the foul line. Taken away again. Hammock steals the entry pass.
You throw it up around him, he's going to come down with the basketball. He should have taken that shot. He was into the lane, a 12-footer, have the confidence to stick it.
A guy like Johnny Bench, there's a reference for you, who has huge hands in baseball. Haddix has the same kind of ability to just grab a basketball and make it disappear.
And it's as if he's got to catch his mitt in his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, anything around him. It's as if he's got one of those big gloves for the knuckleball.
Jackson feeling it, had to put it up with the shot clock down. And now the rebounding foul. Nice work by McClurkin to fight the two Siena rebounders off. 11:08 to go here in regulation. And we have ourselves an official timeout. Marist Red Foxes down 9 against Siena. We'll be back with more of that basketball after this. Siena trying to reach round number 2 here at the 2004 HSBC MAAC basketball tournament with a 9-point lead. Earlier today, the Rookie of the Year was announced. And the winner is from St. Peter's College for the second straight year. A Peacock wins it. Shane Nichols averaged over 10 points per game as he helped the Peacocks renaissance this season. Been a big part of their turnaround year. HSBC, the world's local bank. And the player of the year comes as no surprise for the second year in a row. Luis Flores. We're taking a look at all the first-teamers here as we get to Luis Flores.
Well, certainly Juan Mendez, a guy who got votes as the player of the year, but clearly, as you look at it, Luis Flores, the preseason player of the year for the second straight year, walks away with the honor. Although Mendez will take the airtime. We'll see him tomorrow night.
Mendez is probably the odds-on favorite to win it next year.
Key drink.
They defer to the upperclassmen, though. He'll be the senior next year, so I make him the favorite. Whittington off the mark, and here comes Jackson back the other way. The spin stripped away by Whittington, who tries to plead his case to the official, saying the ball went off of Jackson's knee, but to no avail. And so the Saints will have the ball. Haddix off the inbound, way off the mark. Candy the rebound. Whittington with another open look. Keeping the Red Foxes close.
And that's what he's done every time Marist digs himself a hole. It's Whittington trying to get him out of that hole. His 4th 3 on the game. That time in transition as Jordan was able to find him.
Well, he had his career high in the regular season finale with 14. He's got 15 here tonight. It's back to a 6-point ball game. Jackson, Jordan, Ryan, Miller, and Haddix on the floor for the Saints. Haddix with a quick dribble. Can't get the roll. Whittington down to help out on the glass.
Fox in one last possession as they throw the defender Hood against Jordan to try and keep the basketball out of his hands. Again, mixing things up defensively, trying to keep Siena out of an offensive rhythm.
McClurkin sees the defensive pressure and dribbles away from him. Whittington
Five threes on the game. You see Jared Jordan, his freshman teammate, coming over to slap him 5. Whittington has single-handedly from 3 got Marist back into this game.
And the Red Foxes say, not so fast, my friends.
You see Dave McGarity, it's been a tough year all season long for Dave McGarity. Has had 18 fine seasons at Marist, and certainly not the year that he was looking for with just 6 wins. Hasn't been a whole lot of smiles, but the big coach has one here because Whittington steps up and knocks down a 3 right in rhythm. It's a little chest pound. Why not? He's got the stroke going right now.
Well, here's the Broadway Marketing mind-bending trivia question for game number 3 tonight at the MAAC tournament. The question: 5 players in Siena basketball history have been able to lead the team in scoring for 3 consecutive seasons. Who is the last player to accomplish this feat? Broadway Marketing, mind-bending branded solutions. And we'll have that answer for you in just a few minutes. The Siena basketball tradition goes 25 years deep in Division I. Before that, one of the better Catholic school programs in the nation back in the 1950s and early 60s.
A 3-point shot clearly keeping Marist in it. On the other side, Siena's basically got nothing done from the outside. Haddix starting to heat up from the inside, but just 1 for 11 from beyond the 3-point line. So you're trading 2s for 3s, most of those by Whittington, who's having a terrific game.
Right, Whittington had the 2 big 3s in the first half immediately upon Jared Jordan's ankle injury. Kept the game close. Red Foxes at the intermission down just 2. Then he's had the big second half to cut into that 10-point lead. It's back down to 3.
And answering with 3s to cut a run can help you close that gap.
Jordan, Jackson, Miller, Andrews, and Haddix for the Saints. McClurkin, Hood, Handy, Whittington, and Jared Jordan out there for the Red Foxes. Chanted, let's go Saints. Coming down from the Saints here at the Pepsi. Haddix gets his own miss. Shot clock continues to run down off the air ball. Jordan fouled, and he'll shoot 2.
Jordan, one of the few guys, as we mentioned, in the first half on this team that can really go find a shot for himself, create off the bounce, use his athleticism and size once he gets by people, able to find the contact, nearly had it fall. Instead, he'll have to earn both from the line.
And so Antoine Jordan, a 6'4 sophomore, actually from Baltimore, played his high school ball in the Philadelphia area. Now he's into double figures. He spent this past summer staying on campus, playing for the Adirondack team, which in the Empire State Games won a silver medal. And he knocks down a pair. He's 3 out of 4 from the line here tonight. And the Siena lead is back to 5. Sets the screen for Whittington. Under 9 minutes to go. There's Jamal Jackson again, but he came back inbounds from out of bounds without reestablishing himself, and so Jackson does not get the steal. Marist will keep possession.
Well, the quickness of Jackson able to jump out into the passing lane. The discussion whether or not it would be a reset of the shot clock, and they do indeed reset.
Because they say Siena did have possession for a moment as Jackson took the ball out of bounds.
Jordan just can't finish it.
And the Saints at the other end trying to make the Red Foxes pay.
There's the good decision making by Jackson. Get into the lane, nothing happening, bring it back out.
Dennis has spent 2 years playing junior college. He took about 6 steps to the basket, no tall.
As soon as I say good decision, then he goes wild, getting himself into the lane. Able to tuck it for a couple extra yards.
We came to the MAAC tournament and an NBA game broke out. That was the third of 3, I believe. And so Handy picks up the 8th team foul against the Red Foxes. And it's shooting 2. Dennis Young back in for Handy. Ellaby also returns for Jared Jordan. Maddox, as you see, so far getting it done at the line. Misfires on what was his 4th of the night. Quickly back the other way. Hood.
Miller thought there was a lane violation at the other side. Didn't go after the rebound off the missed foul shot. So the fans like the defensive recovery out in transition to punch it out. And Hood, who's been silent here so far this evening, with just 1-3 early on, he's got to get himself back involved in the offense.
Marist down 6 with the ball. Just over 8 minutes to go in the second half.
See McClurkin once again get double teams when he gets it in the post.
Antoine Jordan with the assignment on Whittington, who's had the hot hand. Shot clock at 10. Whittington still with the dribble. The big boys. Shot clock still winding down. The whistle. The officials confirm. Bob Donato says jump ball.
They got a timeout before the jump ball. The trail official, one of the Marist players, smartly ran over and called the timeout, apparently.
As Will Whittington was holding on for dear life in the paint. He went in with the big boys, and
nobody happy. Dave McGarity trying to say no foul, no contact. The fans in the stand can't believe it's a timeout. Whittington not known for his ability to get by people, got himself deep into the lane.
And how about that? Haddix lost his shorts. Michael Haddix needs to relace.
It was Young who called that timeout. Now you got yourself an answer. Go ahead.
All right, let's go back to our Broadway Marketing Mind-Bending Trivia. Mind-Bending Solutions. Who was the last Siena player to lead his team in scoring for 3 straight seasons? A man who helped the Renaissance at Siena, Marcus Faison, who led the Saints into the NCAA tournament. They were not Denver. The opening round. There's Ellaby knocking down the jump shot, and the Red Foxes back within 3.
Always got to pay attention to the guy that inbounds the basketball on a baseline out of bounds. They took the timeout to save possession and then made good on it with a terrific execution on baseline out of bounds.
We've got a timeout. Another good finish coming up. Siena holding on to a 3-point lead on the MAAC Television Network. Siena clinging to a 3-point lead with under 8 minutes to go here in this first round game of the MAAC tournament. And we told you about it earlier. Let's show you now. Once again, the men's player of the year. The finalists were Juan Mendez, Rob Thompson, Jerry Johnson, Kiki Clark, and that man, Luis Flores, who for the 2nd straight season with an average of 24.1 points per game is your 2004 Pepsi Player of the Year. Pepsi, it's the cola. Flores and the Jaspers, presumably, on this late Friday night. Home watching this one. They are still in the Bronx and not coming up to the Capital District until presumably tomorrow. And then their first game will be Sunday night in the semifinals.
Many advantages of the double bye, not having to go on the road and be in unfamiliar surroundings for an extra day or two.
Shot clock at 15. High-low, Miller to Haddix. And a pushing foul against McClurkin before the shot. That's number 2 on the Marist center.
And it's amazing how many catches he makes in traffic up top. I mean, so many times you see post feeds coming from the wing on a bounce pass. They just throw the ball in the air and let Haddix go get it.
There's Jared Jordan coming back in, Hood going out. And again, Haddix is doing that while giving up 3 inches to McClurkin. Although Haddix is a big, long 6'6".
And big, strong 6'6", too. Just cleared space.
Whittington with another rebound, dribbles up himself. Marist can tie it with a 3, but they turn it over again. Jordan zig while Ellerby expected him to zag.
And both guys playing different roles than usual. It's usually Jordan with the ball in his hands, getting into gaps and kicking out to Ellerby for 3s. They've had to reverse their roles because of the ankle injury to Jordan.
Here's the ball, Jackson. He's got 12. Haddix has 11. Antoine Jordan with the ball also has 11. 7 minutes on the clock. There's the entry to Haddix again.
He seals up in the low post better than any player in the MAAC. Clearing space by getting big, by getting down. You don't get big by standing straight up. You've got to get down and use your legs.
It's a Lakers dozen for Haddix, a second-team all-night performer this year as a sophomore. Jordan back out to Young, who spots up 18.
That's been his spot, 18 feet away. Just about the same spot that he hit a huge shot last year at the end of their MAAC tournament game. It looked like Marist was going to get away with the win. Instead, Siena and Prosper Karonga able to hit the shot at the buzzer to send them into the semifinals.
This is a matchup we've seen a lot over the years, and Siena's gotten the better of it, knocking the Red Foxes out of the tournament the last couple of years. Shot clock under 10 as you see in the lower left-hand screen. Austin Andrews connects for 3.
And just the second three-point basket on the game for Siena. Andrews struggling as of late, able to convert from deep.
Well, that's his first 3 that he's made after 3 misses tonight. Jordan, taken away by Jordan. Takes it from Jordan. Back to Ellerby. Gets a hand on the ball. And Siena gets the timeout. Rob Lanier was screaming for the TO. And the official on the other side of the court, Jeff Smith, was the one who saw and heard it. And so the Saints use a 30-second timeout.
Once again, trying to save possession. Looked like his team was in trouble. Wanted to make sure coming down the stretch with just a 6-point lead that they keep possession. Ellerby nearly came up with the steal after he gave it away. Instead, has the basketball. See the frustration on Ellerby's face. Nearly got one back.
Rob Lanier has been to the postseason each of his first 2 seasons as head coach of the Saints. In 2002, they went to the NCAA, as we've shown you. Last year, Siena went to the NIT. But again, it's going to take a 4-game winning streak in order to get back to the postseason this year. And Siena's not had a 4-game winning streak this year. They've had 3-game winning streaks, but never have they put together 4 in a row in this Lanier's 3rd year at the Loudonville School. Siena by 6 with the ball. Miller into Haddix again. Out to Jackson. He's not apt to shoot from the perimeter. McClurkin picks up the shoving foul, his 3rd.
It's so hard when you're defending against Haddix because he wears you down. First half, you had the sloughing defense that kept the basketball out of his hands. Now he's getting a lot of isolations one-on-one in the post, and he simply has worn down McClurkin.
And Siena has earned its way into the double bonus, so Haddix shooting 2. That's 14. Whittington leads Marist with 16. McClurkin goes out with that 3rd foul. Handy comes back in.
A lot more touches inside for the big guy. He's got himself to the
line. Gives off to Whittington. Marist trying to run through their offense out of the flex, trying to turn things over. Jordan on Jordan. 10 seconds to shoot. 5 on the game clock. 5 minutes to go. Whittington's got it. Put it up. He gets the screen that levels Antoine Jordan. And with 2 seconds on the shot clock, Handy comes up with the hit.
How about Whittington? He's showing now he can not only knock down 3s, but he's gone by people. Good decision not to force the shot around in the lane. Instead, Handy able to convert on the easy look from about 10.
We saw in our last game, I know Steve Burke getting leveled by 2 hard picks by Canisius players. We saw Antoine Jordan get leveled on that last possession. Jordan misses. Elby fights for the rebound for Hazard. Down 5, Marist with the ball. Ellison out of dribbling. A ton of dribbling. And Jackson had it all over the entire time. That was a turnover in that. Marist just hanging around. They were down 2 in the break. Down by as many as 10. Down 5 right now. Jordan loses the dribble. Dives for it. Saves it, but it's too soon. Numbers for the Saints. Jackson lost it. That's the problem that he's had. Getting out of control. Stay with 2 feet on the ground and make good decisions with the basketball. Jared Jordan, the Red Foxes, down 5 with under 4 minutes to go. Timeout on the MAAC Television Network. This game is brought to you in part by Pepsi. It's the Cola. By HSBC, the world's local bank. By the New York Lottery, New York Mega Millions, dream bigger. And by FYE for your entertainment. 3:46 on the clock, and now it's time for tonight's game summary brought to you by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA.
When you take a look at the numbers here, points off turnovers, Siena dominating that category. On the other side, three-point shooting, Marist dominating from deep, and those 2 stats have basically neutralized each other, and that's why we've got ourselves a 5-point game.
And Rob, this copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC Properties, a division of Post Communications. Coming down to crunch time in this finale of our MAAC triple header. Foul on the shot. McClurkin goes to the line.
One of the few times McClurkin's gotten a touch in the low post when he hasn't seen a double team. Coming out of the timeout, making sure that they reestablish McClurkin, their leading scorer on the season, with a touch in the post.
And that's the 7th team foul against Siena. McClurkin, the transfer from the University of Maryland at Baltimore County, shooting 2.
Look at Dave McGarry, as we said, 18 seasons at Marist, taking the Red Foxes to the NCAA tournament and the NIT tournament. It's been a struggle this year, but his team's certainly given him a good fight here this evening.
He was not happy to see Siena in the brackets once again. 3 straight years it's been Siena knocking Marist out of the MAAC tournament. He's trying to return the favor here tonight. The lead is down to 3. Jamal Jackson into the paint. That's a new career high for the senior point guard. The lead is back to 5.
With some confidence, reading the screen, coming off and curling. Basically a non-offensive threat for much of the season, but he's been able to get some scores in the paint. Curling off the screen, the little floater, not a whole lot of contact there. Late in the game, turn the trip to the line.
McClurkin grabbed the miss. 62-57. 3 minutes to go. Ellerby with the 3.
Good shot right there. Ellerby coming and curling off the screen. Not in the lane like Jackson the last time. This time, from beyond the 3-point line, cuts the lead back to 2.
Meanwhile, Jamal Jackson at the other end of the floor looks like he may have taken a shot in the midsection.
Well, this long net paying dividends for Marist there as it hangs itself up. That allows the Red Foxes to regroup and get themselves up in a little full court pressure.
And so Jamal Jackson has to come out of the game. Tommy Mitchell back into the game.
With the way Jackson's been playing, that could be a big factor as well. So one point guard go down for a while in the first half, and Jared Jordan. Now Jackson's
Austin Andrews will go to the line for 2.
And again, another reach and slap at the basketball. allow Siena to get to the line. You've got to be much stronger and much more solid with your defense coming down the stretch. Can't be slapping like that.
Siena has not relinquished the lead here in the second half. They led at the intermission 33-31. They had the lead up to as many as 10. And Andrews trying to get it back to 4. All right, this season, Aero Post on designated an article of clothing for each and every free throw made in men's regular season conference play. And this season, over 2,700 articles will be donated by Aero Postal and MAAC schools to needy communities across the Northeast. Thank you very much to Aero Postal. 2 for 2. That's 9 points for the senior from New Britain, Connecticut.
The crowd sets some big defensive possession for Siena. Trying to step up and make some noise.
Quick step right to the basket. Missed the last pass for the rebound.
You got to get back and just play solid defense. Too early to start giving up fouls.
What a move by Ellerby. He just couldn't finish. Now with the steal, loose on the floor. It's a two-point play.
The short ankle and everything, diving on the floor to get a hand on it to keep it alive.
And you know what caused that? The sore ankle of Tommy Mitchell. He went down to the knee. And now Siena wants to call a timeout to get Jamal Jackson back into the game.
Now Jamal Jackson, when he went out, all of a sudden you lose your point guard. The guy you want with the basketball in his hands coming down the stretch.
And you'll see Tommy Mitchell's ankle give out here at midcourt, and the Red Foxes were able to take advantage.
Yeah, Ellerby goes to the floor. Good hustle from behind by Addicks to poke it loose. There's Jared Jordan trying to come up with it. And look who gets the basketball out of the pack. Whittington building on his career high.
He's now got 18 points, and he's pulled Marist back within 2. There you see the timeout situation. Siena with just 1 remaining with 1:54 on the clock.
Now Siena's got to take care of the basketball, get it in bounds, and try to figure out a way to get a touch for Addicks back in on a low post, because here in the second half, Marist has not had a lot of answers once the big guy's gotten it inside.
Well, we've had a tremendous start to the 2004 MAAC tournament. 2 nail-biters followed by this nail-biter. The Saints and Red Foxes going right to the wire. This is Jamal Jackson back into the game. Antoine Jordan for 3. The rebound taken by. He uses Siena's last timeout.
And not where you want to take it right there.
To save possession with 1:36 to go.
Way too early to burn your last timeout, especially coming down the stretch in a 2-point game.
64-62, the Saints on top, and this timeout gives us an opportunity to take a look at today's Pepsi Slam of the game. And I've got an idea which one it is. Indeed, it's Justin Miller, the senior forward for Siena, throwing it down. Pepsi, it's the cola. We haven't heard much from Justin Miller offensively in the second half. He has 9 points. Antoine Jordan 11. Michael Addicks and Jamal Jackson share team high honors with 14 apiece. There you see, Marist has been outfoxed by Siena in recent years here at the MAAC tournament,
including that thriller last year where Prosper Garanga was able to hit the runner in the lane at the buzzer to send Siena into the semifinal game.
And Garanga, as we saw earlier, sitting in the stands here at the Pepsi Arena, watching his old teammates and rooting them on. Garanga did play some professional basketball after his stint with Team Canada last summer. He then went and played some pro ball before being injured, so he's rehabbing. And there you see the dire timeout situation for the Saints.
And they've used a lot of those timeouts to just simply save possessions. At times, that timeout is more important coming down the stretch. They have the possession arrow in their favor already. If you get yourself trapped in the corner, even if you get tied up, it's still your basketball. Save on to those timeouts. They may need them late. They needed it late last year in the MAAC tournament. There's Jackson with another one.
16 points for Jackson.
Certainly, he's been the star so far this evening for Siena.
It's back to a 4-point Saints lead. Timeout by Dave McGarity. So now the Red Foxes will try to set up with 26 seconds on the shot clock.
for Jamal Jackson, putting the ball to the floor to get himself into the lane.
Meanwhile, if you're McGarity, who are you looking for to get the shot here?
Well, certainly Whittington has been the guy who's got the hot hand. The hot hand on the other side clearly has been Jamal Jackson deep into the lane. Got to give a better defensive effort than that as he's able to just go by everybody cleanly to the rim. But Whittington clearly has been the guy who's had the hot hand, but he's not a guy that can create for himself. If you can run him off a screen and get him an open look, fine. Other than that, obviously, Ellerby's the guy that can put the ball in his hand to try to make something happen. As well as Jordan, depending on how that angle is.
And you know, Jared Jordan has done remarkably well considering the state of his ankle to be able to stay out there and still be relatively effective.
Yeah, playing a lot of minutes as well.
There's the Jamal Jackson and Jared Jordan combination. So important in the final minute 15 as the 2 point guards go head-to-head.
And Andrews with the defensive assignment against Whittington using his size.
Here's Handy. Open for three. No good. Lost the rebound. The Red Foxes get the ball back with 1:04 to go.
Well, they got a great look and picked that pop as Handy stepped himself out beyond the three-point line. Would have been just his 4th three on the year, so talk about catching people by surprise. It's frustrating he couldn't grab the rebound.
One time, the big palm couldn't pull it in. Jackson knocks it out of bounds. 2 seconds went off the clock. Ellerby will keep possession. There's Jamal Jackson, who has had 16 points and come up with some big shots as Siena has been able to maintain its lead. To the basket. The lefty reverse now. Is able to pull it. Here comes Siena with 50 seconds on the clock.
Jordan needed to drop that off the hand. He got himself deep into the lane, but doesn't have the lift off that hand to be able to finish the acrobatic shot inside. Handy was wide open inside the lane. Instead, Jordan tried to finish it himself.
And so now Jordan has to commit the foul, and Jackson, who is only a 54% foul shooter, will go to the line, and you see not quite enough hang time. And Miller comes up with a big rebound. Now, Jackson has hit 20 of his last 27 coming into the game, including a game winner at Iona. And he has done better, but the fact still remains on the year he's barely better than 50%.
See that, 54%, 0 for 2 so far here this evening. That's an important one as he stretches it out to the 5-point lead.
17 for Jackson. Ellerby guarded by Jordan. Whittington has Andrews all over him, and he's called for the foul on the push.
And that's a good call. The crowd doesn't like it, but clearly Andrews bumped him, knocked him to the floor. That would be aggressive coming out to challenge because of the three-point shooting of Whittington.
That's the 3rd on Andrews, who by and large has done a decent job getting that hand up in Whittington's face, but that time a little too aggressive.
No, absolutely at 6'9", able to come out and challenge. It's usually no harm, no foul, but as soon as Whittington goes to the ground, you've got to blow the whistle.
So Whittington at the line. Can't get the first, so he won't get the second.
Needed to step out another 4 or 5 feet beyond the three-point line.
And so now Siena will walk to the other end. Dave McGarry's play, hoping for some more misses from the foul line. But the man going to the foul line is the MAAC's best foul shooter. Antoine Jordan, just a shade under 90% this season. You can see the rhythm with which he uses to get himself into a position to fire it up there.
It's a nice little bend and a little rhythm for the lift. 89% from the line. Take those numbers every day of the week.
That's 13 for Jordan. Antoine, that is. Jared Jordan comes back in for Marist. Handy goes out. The lead back up to 7. And now you need a 3-point shot. Jared Jordan back out to Ellerby from long range. With 30 seconds to go.
So Marist came out and gave a great effort here this evening, but it looks like they're going to come up just a little bit short. Possession arrow favors Siena. substitution in as Segrist will come in. Replace Jared Jordan with that ankle a little slower, and McClurkin goes to the bench as Dave McGarity tries to get a quicker lineup in for the full court pressure.
Back comes to Andrews, and the foul given up by Whittington. And so Austin Andrews, a 67% foul shooter, will walk to the other end to shoot two. Well, no surprise that our Pepsi player of the game is Jamal Jackson. You see his new career high in points. Been very efficient shooting the basketball. Even helped out on the boards a little bit. He's our Pepsi player of the game. Pepsi, it's the cola.
And he was involved in a lot of those turnovers and points off turnovers. The big disparity between Siena and Marist as he was able to get a couple steals and then finish at the other end in transition. Solid game from the senior point guard.
I've got him for 4 steals. That foul shot by Andrews gives him 10 points, so the Saints have 4 in double figures and Miller with 9. And Segrist goes back out. (71-62), 27 seconds to go. Jared Jordan lets the ball dribble in until he has to pick it up. Whittington. Tough shot. There were no good options there for Marist. You don't want to foul Antoine Jordan, but there were no other options. The other 4 Siena players were out of the front.
That's the thing that kept him in the backcourt. Certainly, if tomorrow's anything like today has been, it'll be another great day of basketball. 3 close games here this afternoon and this evening.
Absolutely. Check your local listings, but JetBlue Airways presents the MAAC tournament. JetBlue Airways, it's not the only way to fly, but it should be.
And all 3 better seeds advancing on into the next round, setting up some terrific matchups. That 4-5 game, very interesting. How about the athleticism and quickness on the perimeter of the Iona team against a Niagara team that has the best starting 5 in the league? Should be a good matchup as well with Fairfield and Siena. 3 great games on tap for tomorrow.
Now Siena went to Bridgeport and got hammered a month ago and then beat the Stags here at the Pepsi a few days ago.
A low-scoring game, 62-60, a defensive struggle. Those 2 teams met in last year's semifinal round with Fairfield able to survive and advance on into the championship game last year.
After the Eric Sunster layup, Marist called a quick timeout, but Dave McGarity was only doing it to stop the action for a moment and not to huddle up.
You'll see the frustration on Dave's face. It certainly has been a long year. It's certainly not the type of year that he has wanted, but you've got to look at the entire resume of Dave McGarity. Over 18 years has done some great things with the Marist program. One of the great guys in college basketball. He hopes to be back next year.
73-64, your final score. Rob Lanier's Siena Saints move into the MAAC quarterfinals with a win over the Red Foxes.
And it was his point guard, the much maligned point guard at the beginning of the season, Jamal Jackson, who hung in there. He's always had the support of his head coach, Rob Lanier, and he was able to deliver with a big performance here this evening.
Michael Haddix had 14 points, Antoine Jordan 15, but it was Jamal Jackson, our Pepsi player of the game, a career-high 17 points as the Saints advance to take on Fairfield tomorrow night.
And he did a great job right from the start with his defense, forcing turnovers, getting out, and scoring the basketball. He got himself to the rim. He's not a good outside shooter, but he was able to play to his strengths.
Well, we've had a terrific first day here at the MAAC basketball tournament. Iona moved on. Steve Burt licking his wounds. He'll be back tomorrow. And we also saw Ryder beat Loyola to begin it. And as Siena survives and advances into the quarterfinals. Siena wins it 73-64 over Marist. Jamal Jackson is for our entire crew here at the Pepsi Arena. For Ron Henry, this is Doug Sherman saying, thanks for watching the MAAC Television Network.